I've become strongly aware of a problem, and it's a hot topic issue. In fact, the Earth itself is getting hotter, which, if not corrected, will soon affect the lives of all living organisms on Earth. My name is Natalie, and I would like to not only raise your awareness just as global temperatures are being raised, but I would like to raise the impact levels of each person. We talk about it all the time, but never really do much about it. Earth is forever changing because of global warming. Without change, global warming could be the end of mankind. But there is hope. We can rescue the planet now by switching to sustainable living, a practice in daily life of reducing the use of fossil fuels. People today are dependent on vast amounts of energy. We use energy to power our tech, to light our ways, and to climate control our environments. And although energy being made today does the job, it hurts the earth as much as it helps humans. It's not sustainable and it's destructive. But there's hope. New, greener energy sources of power are beginning to grow in popularity. One day, my dad told me about a news program about China's gray sky. The air had been filled with too much carbon that it was directly causing many respiratory illnesses in the people forced to breathe it. China can easily reach 341 on the air quality index throughout the year. This was a result in China burning so much coal as their primary energy source. The country was also polluting the air with burnout from producing so much steel. I thought to myself, there must be a better way, and there is. In another conversation, my dad told me about how Andrew Forrest, also known as Twiggy, the CEO of Fortescue Metals Group, was planning to run his company completely on hydrogen fuel. Hydrogen fuel is a new energy source made by water. Earth is covered in 71% water, and one of its two ingredients is hydrogen. This means we can make hydrogen fuel from just plain water. I used to think that hydrogen was hard to find and dangerous to use. I was still willing to look into it, and then I discovered how simple it is. When I first inquired about hydrogen on my own, I was faced with a lot of challenging words and explanations that were almost impossible to understand. This was until I watched Twiggy's speech and he explained it in terms that just made sense. To understand hydrogen fuel, we should also explore fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are things we burn to release energy. Fossil fuels are made from rotting organic matter that has been underground for a long period of time and has endured intense heat and pressure for millions of years. This turns it into a sludge that burns easily. The problem is, there's only so much left, and when it's burned, it harms all living things. We use fossil fuels to power our homes, cars, and other types of transportation. We also use fossil fuels to support construction, and we burn thousands of tons of coal every day to melt iron ore into steel. Our homes, schools, malls, and more all rely on steel for strength. This results in 46% of worldwide carbon emissions every year. High carbon emissions lead to terrible air. Energy sources that create toxic emissions are known as dirty energy. In Malaysia, we see normal AQI readings below 50. Countries that produce steel are in the hundreds. Any AQI over 300 is poisonous to breathe in. China's air is so bad that it's hard to see through, and people are wearing N95 gas masks to survive. Because of this, around 3,000 people die every day. Hydrogen fuel could just be the solution to this. Hydrogen is so powerful that it can heat up to 1,500 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to melt iron. Hydrogen is easy to make. It's so easy to make that I made it myself. It comes from water. It's the H in H2O. When it's burned, it produces nothing but water. It's the H in H2O. That water vapor that it produces when it's burned will go back into the water cycle and produce more rain. Hydrogen burns like coal, but it's easier to get, we'll never run out of it, and it's non-toxic. Hydrogen is simply made by passing a small electric current through water. The current frees the hydrogen from the water. Then we capture the hydrogen to use for fuel. This method is called electrolysis. The electricity separates the oxygen bubbles from the hydrogen. There is about 2 times the amount of hydrogen than oxygen. When hydrogen is used, nothing but water vapor is produced, which makes it 100% clean. We still need electricity to make electrolysis happen, but instead of using fossil fuels to power the process, we can use other clean energies, such as solar and wind. Hydrogen is the simplest element on the periodic table and holds about 10 times the amount of energy than fossil fuels do. This means we can store more energy in smaller spaces. Refueling cars are a lot quicker for hydrogen compared to battery powered cars. If all taxis in New York itself took up one charging station, it would take up 180 NBA courts worth of space. If that same amount of taxis were powered by hydrogen, you would only need 12. This one energy source could be the energy source we needed. Hydrogen is the new energy carrier that will power hundreds of cities. Slowly but surely, people are starting to bring their attention to this new energy source. This one energy source could change the world. Thank you.